You guys, so I am diving right into this. No fancy intro, no fancy outro. We are just going to talk about sales. If you guys are new here, every week I come on and share my sales from items I picked up at thrift stores and sold on eBay and Poshmark. And like I said, every week I do these reports, and then I share some of the individual items. I show you here on the screen. You can see there's a ton of them from both platforms that you might want to look for. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing down below and also hitting the notification bell. That way you're notified every single time I post these videos. Let's dive in. These sales are from March 26th through April 1st. Guys, I can't believe it's already April. I really can't. We are like a third of the way through the year and I am just not prepared for it. I just can't believe it. Let me know if you're feeling the same way down below, or if this year has gone really slow for you. In total, last week I sold 232 items for a gross sales total of $6,777.48. This is much lower, I guess not much lower than the last couple weeks. I've been very fortunate, if you've watched the last two What Sold videos, to go over 7,000, both the week before and the week before that. But as I said in both of those videos, I think those were kind of an anomaly. I think they just happened to be really great sales weeks, and I don't think that I would be able to maintain that basically. We're currently listing 40 items active every single day. So we list those, they go active on eBay, they're scheduled out way in advance. Once they go active on eBay, we then cross-post them using List Perfectly onto Poshmark, either the same day or the very next day. So it's all just 40 items, just eyes on both platforms. And with doing that over time, these are the results that I've been able to get. It definitely has taken time though, once I increase listings, to start seeing these return on investments. But like I said, while I've been tracking that, I feel like I'm going to fall more between 6,000 and 7,000. But if that leads me to over $7,000 every single week, that would be awesome. But I'm hitting goal as of right now between 6,000 and 7,000, and I did expect these to drop. So still a pretty high number, almost 7,000 with that. Average sale price was $29.21. And then on eBay, I sold 140 items. On Poshmark, I sold just 92. You can see that my items sold are dwindling a little bit. And that is because I'm starting to have more full price sales on Poshmark versus just selling some of our cheaper clearanced out older stuff. And if you're new here, one of the reasons I wanted to do that was because bad items really bog your store down. If people are seeing your items but they're not purchasing, it tells these platforms that you have undesirable items and that your store or your closet basically is not performing well. And this is just a theory, but in my opinion and research shows that you're placed lower in search basically, which is not going to lead to many sales. So I wanted to get some of those older items before I knew what I was doing, clearanced out of my eBay, out of my Poshmark. And surprisingly, Poshmark's been a great place to do that. I've been moving a lot of items through there. Now that we're kind of past that hump, I do feel pretty confident in a lot of the full price sales that we've been getting, and hopefully this average sale price will go up. Average sale price on eBay, let me, I guess, tell you the gross sales. On eBay, I sold almost $4,800 on eBay last week, and on Poshmark, I sold almost $2,000 on Posh. So the split is less even than it used to be. eBay is starting to become, once again, my main platform, but still happy having Poshmark on the side as well for that additional income, and also there in case I want to use closet clearouts. So average sale price on eBay was $34.24. This is where I normally live at, is between $30 and $40 average sale price. And on Poshmark, it was $21.57. So you can see the big change there. But probably a month to 2 months ago, this number was closer to $15, sometimes less than that, because of those clearance out items. So to come all the way to almost $22 is really good, making good progress. So those were my sales. I'll stop talking here. Let's dive into some of these items. So this was a fantastic sale. Just a reminder, if you're wondering the start time, it's going to be, you don't need to see that. It's going to be right here. So if you're wondering when this item was listed based on, it's selling now, you can kind of gather how long it took to sell. It's now up at the top of the screen for the eBay items. So this one is a Ralph Lauren women's multicolor striped linen blend sweater. This was also a size extra large, and it was new with tags. So both of those things definitely helped to up the value. But I wanted to show you this one because you could definitely keep your eye out for Ralph Lauren. In my opinion, pretty much any Ralph Lauren line except for Chaps. That one does not perform well for me. But any other line in this like multicolor stripe in sweaters performs extremely well. It's very Southwestern, which is a lot of what this brand is known for. Some of their best pieces are the Southwestern style. So I wanted to show you this piece to kind of give you an idea of a bolo that you could look for in these brands. Obviously this one is 10 times better because it has a lot more going for it with the new tags and the larger size, but definitely something to keep your eye out for. Also, I am slowing down on sweaters because we are moving into warmer weather. It was actually in the 80s in Ohio yesterday, which was really nice, but nobody's going to be wearing sweaters anymore. But I still look for the lightweight linen-y open knit ones, and this would qualify under that. So don't completely discount sweaters and or long sleeve items in general, because people are still looking for those lightweight, open knit, flowy linen blend materials. And as we all know, anything longer sleeves definitely going to bring you more value. So I'm still on the lookout for some of the longer length pieces, even though it is warmer weather. For this particular item, I felt very confident in it based on all the factors. I paid $10.99, so $11. Listed it for $74.93. You can see it took about 2 to 3 weeks to sell, and it sold for my full asking price of $75. So that was awesome. Definitely something to keep your eye out for. I think people pass on Ralph Lauren all the time, but there are some really top-notch pieces. If you know what you're looking for, you can make a lot of good money. This is a fantastic brand to look for. This is a definite 100% bolo. Pick up everything you see in this brand. Probably want to make sure it's in good condition, but this is a men's Relwyn. To my knowledge, they only make men's. Relwyn, if you're just listening, is spelled Relwen, and it's got this little, almost looks like the American Eagle bird symbol in red. This is a men's micro waffle crew long sleeve shirt. I knew all the information because this item was new with tags and the style name was on it. This pre-owned, new, doesn't matter, performs really well, has like I would say like a 1000% sell-through rate for Relwyn on eBay. And they go for really, really good money. And they're kind of unassuming sometimes. The brand, like this just looks like a navy blue crew neck sweatshirt. So unless you're looking for it and you know the tag, you might not even take a second glance at it, but you definitely want to, because like I said, tons of profits to be made. I only paid $4.89 for this. Because it was new with tags, I listed it pretty high. I listed it for $74.92. I think that this sweater, or I guess it's a shirt, retailed for closer to $100, brand new. So I did drop my price a little bit to account for it being on the eBay market. But it did end up selling relatively quickly for my full asking price. So about 5 and about 75, that is a solid profit. Definitely a brand, even pre-owned, I would get. This is a fantastic shoe brand to be on the lookout for. It is Vionic. They make a lot of comfort brand shoes. They're kind of like Dansko's in the sense where, in my opinion, the more modern, like dressier, trendier styles seem to perform the best. But they also just make some pretty plain like work shoes as well. These ones are called the Ellery in a women's size 9.5. These are really cute, like wedge kind of shoes, which is also really popular right now. And yeah, this brand always performs really well for me and sells for good money. This one was in really great condition as well. I paid $10.99 for it. I listed it for $54.93. It ended up selling on an offer to watchers on eBay for $46.69. And lately on eBay, I have been, previously when I would send offers to watchers, I would be sending out a blanket 10% off offer. Lately, I'm kind of between 10% and 15%, just accounting for the market, the state of the world. You know, people are hurting for money. And I feel like I had to adjust a little bit with that, and with rising costs. So I am now sending out half the time, I would say 15% off, if anybody was wondering. Next up is a category in a specific brand that is performing excellent for us. We have sold a lot of these lately. I don't know if it was the last video or the one before that, maybe even both, but you guys have seen, we've been selling a ton of Ralph Lauren men's blazers / sport coats. They're all performing really well for us. I would say the wool ones are doing okay. They're doing pretty good. But the linen ones are where it's at right now. Linen and silk blend ones are moving really quickly and for really good money. But as you can see with this sale here, this is a wool one and it's still sold really well. One thing I do look for in blazers is I make sure that the size tag is there. It's really hard, in my opinion, to measure and determine size. So in my opinion, I am looking for that size tag, or I'm not going to pick it up unless it's something really rare. But Ralph Lauren, if you're someone who's shies away from blazers because you think they're too difficult to list or you don't understand them, this can be a great one to pick up. And we usually only do a few measurements on it. We usually do the pit to pit, the length, and then we try to also include a sleeve measurement. I noticed that's one that men ask for a lot on these. So if you want to dip your toes into blazers, this is definitely a great place to start. We picked this blazer up at the bins and we listed it for $44.93. It ended up selling on an offer to watcher for $38.19. All right, next one is this Gudrun Sojin women's tunic top. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this brand. It is very popular, has a very high sell-through rate, but you can almost never read what it says. So this is, like I said, just a tunic top. As you can see, this cursive is so hard to read. In fact, almost every time I come across it, I forget what it actually says. It's like I know what the brand is called, but I can't remember how to spell it. And then I try to read it and I end up having to like let eBay correct me. But if you see this tag, it kind of, just in my opinion, looks like a fast fashion tag, but great brand. You can see it's made in Greece. Very, very good following and sells for really, really great money. This one was found by one of our sourcers, even had some washwear, so not in excellent condition, and it still sold for quite a bit of money. We picked this up for $4.99 and we listed it for $64.93. It ended up selling pretty quickly on an offer to watcher for $55.19. And guys, that is, again, with having some washwear. But yeah, check that brand out if you haven't already. Do a comp real quick and get to know that brand because it is really, really highly sought after. Sells for really good money. This next one is by Storybrooke Knits. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of this brand. It is kind of a mature brand. But some of their stuff sells pretty well. I think it really depends on what it is. They remind me of Bob Mackie a little bit. One of our sourcers found this set, which I think is gorgeous, very Easter-ish. It is a tank and cardigan sweater set in a size 2X and 1X. She picked this up for $5. We listed it for $49.93. and it ended up selling on an offer to Watcher for $42.44. So definitely one I would keep your eye out for. I do think that there are big profits to be made in that. And some people really focus on trendy items, but what I have learned over several years, and even just recently from one of our sourcers at the time, is that mature brands are really like solid hitters. So if you're someone who doesn't pick up mature brands, but you want, consistent income, you might consider dipping your toes into some of these more mature brands because they are very consistent and they sell really, really well. Speaking of, this is Eileen Fisher. This is one of my favorite mature brands to sell. I pick up almost everything in this brand. This is a 100% wool pull-on, just brown casual pants. I paid $4.99 for this. It ended up selling for $41.36. I am glad this sold now because we are about to move into warmer weather and I'm not sure how well wool pants would have sold in the next several months. So glad that these finally went. But definitely some good profits to be made on Eileen Fisher. Again, another mature brand you might want to keep your eye out for. Did I pass one? Oh, I need to exit out of that. Okay. Next up is a Bryn Walker women's linen top. This is a fantastic brand to look for, especially in the linens department. They make very oversized log and look linen pieces, which is, in my opinion, their most sought after items. So this is a very, very oversized top. Again, guys, this linen stuff is starting to fly off the shelves. It's going to be very popular over the next several months. Anything beachy, linen-y are the things you're going to want to hone in on. This one even had a spot on it. I forgot to record how much we paid for this, but I believe that we got this in wholesale, so it would have been between $5 and $6. We ended up listing this for $44.93. It sold I think within just a few days for our full asking price of $44.93. Very quick seller, this one, even with the spot. So definitely keep your eye out for Bryn Walker. This is another fast seller for us in the jeans department. Sorry for the blurry photo. This is Judy Blue. These are a size 20W in a skinny fit. Definitely the larger sizes in Judy Blue are going to perform the best, but to be honest with you, we pick up some of the smaller sizes and they move as well. Very, very good brand. This brand's known for their like comfort, stretchy, almost slimming effects. We picked this up at a Ben's location, listed it for $44.93. It sold pretty quickly for our full asking price of $44.93. And definitely a bolo to keep your eye out for in the jeans department. This is a pair of men's jeans. I like selling silver in the men's jeans pretty much exclusively now. It used to be a really solid hitter in the women's department. It is no longer for me, so I only focus on the men's, but this is called the Gordy Flap. This is a very popular style by them because of the back flap pockets. And this flips pretty quickly for us. Not much else to say about it. We picked it up for $8.99. That is now regular price jeans at my thrift store, $8.99. I know a lot of you, your jeans are more expensive, but that was a big jump for us. Previously, they were $5.99. Then they moved them up to $6.99 and they sat at $6.99 for a while. And then just recently they bumped it up $2 more to $8.99. So a lot of the jeans that I used to get, I can no longer because the price has just increased so much. So we try to stick to, if we're picking something up for $8.99, that we're at least going to get 35 to 40 for it, preferably 40 and up. So there are a lot of jeans that I've had to kind of X out at my regular Goodwills. But this one fit the bill. Again, we paid $8.99. We listed for $39.93. It sold within just a few days for our full asking price. So definitely met that criteria and a brand and a style that you might want to look for. Next up is another one of those, like, it's long sleeves, but it's lightweight, could be linen-y or lightweight material. This is Flax. They're known also for their linen pieces. This one's not a linen piece. It's actually acetate lycra. But I absolutely love this brand. Same thing, kind of like Bren Walker. They're very oversized, minimalist, login looky. This one I listed in the wrong season, and so it took a while to sell, and we've since dropped the price. This one we listed at the beginning of August, so starting to move into, I guess, still summer, but starting to move into fall. And it just sat. So now it finally sold as we're moving back into warmer weather, but I thought I would show you kind of seasonality of this item. We paid $3.99. It sold for $35, and I will have another flax piece in just a moment to show you, but definitely a brand to keep your eye out for, particularly in linen pieces. This is a Tory Burch. It is a designer item. I found this at the bins. It was a merino wool cardigan, and this ended up selling for $40. We accepted a best offer. And again, I got this at the bin, so very, very lightweight. Here's another flax piece. So this one was listed in the correct season. You can see I just listed this about a week to a week and a half ago, and it has already sold. Cayley considering trying to form a strategy, I guess, of listing items during better seasons, but to be honest, it's just not been my strategy up till this point. We just list things whenever we get them. We try to hone in on sourcing only, items within the season, but I'm still working on it every day. I haven't decided yet if we're going to start, holding items. Probably not, but it is in my brain right now to be kind of working through that. If you have some success or some strategies with seasonality, please drop them in the comments below, because I am like racking my brain, very open to all possibilities. But we don't really have a 100% plan on this yet, and I'm really working through everything. But this is a good example of one that was listed in the correct season because it sold so quickly. So this is a flax women's linen, again, oversized login look top, and this is a very artsy, very high quality material item. These might be words that you want to use if you list an item like this. I do think that they help to sell it. We got this in wholesale, so we paid between $5 and $6 for this one. We listed it for $44.93. It ended up selling on an offer to Watcher for $38.14, and again, within days of listing. This one is a bread and butter brand for us. We like picking up in plus sizes. I won't talk about it too much because I do feel like I talk about it just about every video, but this is a Talbot's puffer vest in a size 1X. These things fly. They fly. Definitely worth looking into. I'm not sure about moving into the warmer season, but they definitely fly for us during this time of the year. We paid $6.99. It ended up selling for our full asking price of $29.91. Here is another Talbot's piece. This is also a plus size 2X. This is a speckled sweater. We got this in wholesale, paid $5.26 for it. It sold for our full asking price of $34.92. I just love this brand. I come across it all the time. I don't pick up everything, but plus sizes are definitely one to look for. This is a pair of jeans by Madewell. And I wanted to show you guys this one because even though it didn't sell for a ton, it did sell within just a couple of months. And I wanted to show you the style. This is the Cayley demi boot. I've mentioned this before, but I've noticed both in jeans brands and also athletic wear brands that the wider the leg, pretty much anything but skinny seems to be selling better right now. Not saying you can't sell skinny leg stuff, but just saying it seems to be more trendy. So I am keeping my eye out for the flare, the boot cut, the straight leg, things like that. These were the Madewell Cayley Demi boot cut jeans. They were a size 25, so a pretty small size. I got these for $4.99 at a different thrift store. They ended up selling for $26.92, which was a dropped price because they did take just over 3 months to sell. This was a pretty cool sale. It was really interesting. So myself and one of my sourcers were at a Goodwill, and I was kind of teaching her about Y2K stuff, and that particular day we came across quite a bit of Y2K things. One of them being this Tell Surplus women's camo cargo capri pants. This was new with tags, which helped to up the value, but patchwork detail all over. We looked this up. They were doing pretty well. This is definitely a Y2K style, and military stuff in general, even before the Y2K trends, seemed to do pretty well. If I see anything that says surplus, I usually look it up. I don't know why, but that seems to be a good indicator of quality, like military or military inspired item. So this is the brand, again, Tell Surplus, one I would keep your eye out for. This was very, very cool. We paid $4.89, listed it for $34.92. It ended up selling on an offer to watcher for $29.68. This is another great, I guess, bread and butter for us. This is Ralph Lauren dress. And what I look for in this are typically the ruched items or the wrap items. This one has both. It's ruched and it's a faux wrap. Also beautiful, beautiful print on this, very multicolor. These dresses do really well in the warmer weather. This was also a size 12. I listed this one in the wrong season as well. We listed this back in November, so we since dropped the price. I paid $5.99. It ended up selling for $30. But in general, I would say with these dresses, I can usually get between $30 and $40 pretty consistently in warmer weather. This is also a good bread and butter bolo to be on the lookout for. Polo Ralph Lauren men's joggers. I don't have much else to say about that, but sweatpants, joggers, men's Polo Ralph Lauren seem to do really well. These ones did have a couple of spots. Otherwise, we probably would have gotten more money for them and they would have sold quicker. I paid $4.89. I don't remember what we originally listed it for, but we ended up selling them for $31.38, even with that spot. So that should tell you how popular these items are if they're selling, with a stain for $30. Next up is kind of along the same lines as the Ralph Lauren. I've been picking up some Calvin Klein larger size dresses, and they have been performing really well for me as well, selling between $30 and $40 typically. This one was gorgeous. It was a black and red rose dress. This one had that like scuba material too, which seems to be the most popular in Calvin Klein dresses. Paid $4.89. We listed it for $35.92. It sold on an offer to watcher for $30.53. This is another great bread and butter. It's Life is Good. This is actually a hoodie, and it's just a women's pullover hoodie, size large. We paid $4.99. It sold for our full asking price of $29.93. So a little bit more meat on the bones than the t-shirts, and I thought that was a great sale. This is a brand you want to look for in shorts or even pants. Let me see if I can find. There it is. Incotex. This is a pretty popular brand. I don't come across it often, but when I do, it sells very quickly. Just a pair of blue cotton or cotton blend chino shorts, so keep your eye out for Incotex. I paid $3.99. They sold for a full asking price of $29.92. Okay, moving on to Poshmark. This is a brand that's been surprising me lately. I found out about this several months ago and have been picking it up since. It is Bila, B-I-L-A. It is kind of like a bohemian, somewhat mature brand. Anything extra large or higher, even large and higher, seems to be performing really well in tops. And I love a tops brand that is consistent for me because in my opinion, tops are like so easy to list. They only take 2 measurements. You can usually get away with less photos. So love anything that is a quick listing process. And this would be one of those. So Bila size extra large women's tops. And obviously any size higher than that seem to flip really well. Pretty consistently. So I paid $4 for this. It sold for $30 on Poshmark. I was so happy with that. It's just a floral flutter sleeve top. This is Zara. I'm pretty picky with Zara, but I do like picking up their midi to maxi length dresses. This is a women's size large maxi dress, pretty plain, but again, they sell pretty consistently for me. I paid $4.89. It sold for $29. This is another Eileen Fisher. This is a size extra large organic linen pair of pull-on pants. Got this in wholesale for $5.47. It sold for $40 on Posh. Public Rec. This is a menswear brand. I've been trying to show you guys quite a bit because it sells so quickly and some of their items sell for really good money. This is just a men's long sleeve Henley t-shirt, size extra large. And this we picked up in wholesale for between $5 and $6. It sold for $28. This was an amazing sale. This is Restoration Hardware, which is better known for their furniture, which is really expensive. Don't know if you guys have ever been in one. I personally love the style of it, but don't know that I'll ever pay that much for furniture. But they also make a couple of like home goods items, like pajamas. And this one just said RH, so if you weren't looking for it or you didn't know about it, you might have passed on this, but this is Restoration Hardware. This is a pair of 100% linen pajama set, and these sell really well. Even if I would have only found the pants or would have only found the shirt, I still would have gotten it because it flips really quickly and for good money. I paid $4.99, just $4.99 for the whole set. I think we originally listed these for $75 and the set sold for $65. A pair of pre-owned pajamas, so definitely keep your eye out for Restoration Hardware. Next up is Flint and Tinder. This is kind of like Relwyn. I'll pick up anything in this brand, and in my experience, I might be wrong, but I think this is exclusively a men's brand, and it sells so well. I pick up anything in this brand. This is just a men's cotton linen button-up shirt. I paid $4.99 for it. It sold for $46 on Poshmark. This is a pair of pants I got from another reseller. We paid $2 for this. It is Zadig and Voltaire, which is a very high retailing brand. Do we not have? Oh, here we go. Zadig and Voltaire. These were called the Perone pull-on pants. Cool, like multicolored cheetah print. Honestly, if I were to just look at these pants, I don't know that I would have checked them out. So I'm glad someone else found them. But this is a very high-end brand to keep your eye out for, Zadig and Voltaire. I think they have like some pretty rare pieces too. I feel like these were kind of mid-tier in that, and they sold for $60, which is a crazy return on investment for a pre-owned item. Again, paid $2. These sold for $60. Here's a pair of Athleta pants. This goes again along with those Madewell Cayley Demi boot jeans, where anything that's not skinny seems to sell for much more. So Athleta Chelsea wide leg cargo pants. I paid between $5 and $6 for them, and they sold for $34. This is a good brand to look for in those wider leg items. This is Lily Pulitzer, but it's a Lily Pulitzer Target. So you can see this little logo here. I just wanted to show you this because some people pass on the for Target collaborations, but for us, they sell really well still. Definitely not for as much, because I think there's just more of them out there because they were sold at Target. It was more mass produced, but they still sell pretty quickly if you price them right. So we paid $5.99 for this Lily Pulitzer maxi dress. It ended up selling on an offer for $29, which I was pretty happy with. This next one is Smartwool. This is a brand I pick up regardless of what season we're in because it seems to sell so well. Again, it's pretty warm in most places now. We're moving into spring, summer weather, and this still sold. So in my opinion, I would pick it up all year round. This is what they're known for, are their lightweight wool pieces. This is a women's merino quarter zip pullover. I paid $5.47 for it, got it in wholesale. It sold for $34. This is a men's button-up shirt. This is actually Wrangler, which is a brand for the most part I steer clear of, but this is their fire resistant line. That's what the FR stands for in the Rigs workwear category. And this long sleeve plaid button-up shirt apparently is more sought after than some of their other Rigs pieces. So I would keep your eye out for that. We paid $5.99 for it. It sold for $34. This is a J. Crew piece in the blazers department in the women's category and even the men's too, but I almost never find them in the men's. It's always the women's. J. Crew blazers do really, really well. So again, if you're someone who wants to dip your toes into blazers, J. Crew would be a great one to look for because they almost all sell very quickly. This is their line 365. I'm just noticing we wrote 356 in the title. That's okay. Size 16, so a larger size. This, in my opinion, is one of their less desirable lines in blazers. However, it still sold for pretty good money. We paid $5.99. It sold for $34. Most of the time, if I find a J. Crew blazer, I just pick it up. As long as it's in good condition, I don't really worry about which style it is or if it's, modern or whatever. They all sell for me. So again, I've been picking them up. This is a definite bolo. This is a fantastic sale. This is a Juicy Couture women's velour tracksuit. I know you can only see the hoodie now, but there was a pair of pants. Here they are. Some matching velour tracksuit. This was also a size 3X, and it was in really, I guess it wasn't in good condition. Just kidding. There's some staining on the item. It felt really high quality when I picked it up, but I guess we had some staining. So even with the staining, it sold for $70, you guys. That is a crazy return on investment for a pre-owned stained item, but this is very popular because of that Y2K trend. So check out Juicy Couture velour items if you come across them because they're pretty valuable. And I paid $12.48 for the whole set. Next up is a bread and butter brand for me. It is J. Jill. This is actually their Pure Jill line. I got this even though it was a smaller size because it was new at tags. And it was that like beachy linen-y look and feel. And it was a tunic button up. Very, very good factors involved even though it was a smaller size. And so I got it. Paid $4.50 for it. It sold for $42. So I am glad that I picked that up. This is a pair of purple brand jeans. If you're not familiar with this, I would definitely become familiar with it. This is a very high retailing and reselling menswear brand. This is the label on the inside. Honestly, does not, in my opinion, look like a higher end label. So want to memorize that if you can. And you guys taught me that even though these had the like cloth tag on the back, that they might not be new. Apparently people like to wear these with the tag still stitched on them. Don't get me started. I don't understand it, but I'm glad that you guys told me that because these actually were not new and we were going to list them that way because I didn't know. They were actually pre-owned, so we made sure to change that. You can see there was some staining on the label on the back. Also, just throwing out, what we went through to list these, I was not sure if they were women's or men's jeans, but these definitely are men's jeans, and I was able to quickly find that out by doing a Google lens. I figured out exactly what they were called and verified that they were men's jeans, so keep your eye out for those. Definitely a bolo, sells pretty quickly and for really good money. We paid $6.99. They sold for $165. That's so good. Okay, next up is a pair of women's Birkenstocks. I think we paid around $2 for these. Birkenstocks, if you don't know, sell really well even with wear. I do think that you need to make sure the tread has a little bit of life left in them. You can see these had a little bit of wear, but there weren't like chunks missing out of them like you'll see sometimes. Most people will leave them behind because the footbeds are stained, but people still buy them. So you can see we did say that there was general wear throughout. If these were in really great condition, they probably would have sold for like $70-ish, but because of the wear, we dropped the price on them. And this Arizona style with these two straps is called the Arizona style, is really popular, so keep your eye out for that. Like I said, I think we paid around $2 for it. It ended up selling with all those falls for $34. And lastly, is a menswear brand of jeans that you definitely want to look for. It is Diesel. And as I mentioned before, I'm having to pay $8.99 at a regular Goodwill. So with that in mind, I want to have more than likely a $40 or higher sale. And the Diesel jeans definitely fit that bill. Almost all of them sell for that much or higher. So this is a brand I'm still seeking out. These are called the Larky Relaxed Comfort Straights. And they were also a button fly, which I think is pretty popular in this brand. I paid actually $6.99 for these at a different location. And they ended up selling for $42, which is a great return on investment. Again, if you're someone that was hit really hard with the pricing lately, the increased pricing at your Goodwills, in my opinion, this is still a brand that you could look for. Okay, guys, so that is it for what sold. Again, I'm not going to do an outro. Hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how your sales have been. Are they slowing down? Are you starting to see a summer slowdown? I feel like we're about to go into that season and I'm trying my best to prepare for it. But let me know down below how it's going for you. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.